Good morning and welcome to the art class today. I hope you're looking forward to just having some fun making some art. Today we are going to make a still life, a Vincent van Gogh still life. And the reason we're doing that is because it's kind of a neat, interesting technique that Vincent used. If you ever have the opportunity to look at some of his paintings, especially from the side, there's so much of the oil paint that just comes off of the canvas. And so we're using a technique today, or trying to use a variation of that technique called impasto. And what that means is basically it means dough or doughy. And the painter or a painter will just layer paint over paint over paint, and it begins to rise like dough. It comes off of that canvas, and it makes a really interesting, neat looking effect. The other thing about Vincent van Gogh's still lives is that there is something unique about that, because each one of those still lifes actually look like they aren't still at all. There's a lot of expression, there's a lot of energy that's happening in each one of those paintings. And so we're going to kind of look at how we can make a still life that has energy, has expression, that really just wants to come off of that canvas as best as possible as we can. Again, the whole object of this is to really enjoy making art, having fun doing this process together. And so here is one of his still lifes. It's sunflower seeds. That he was known for these paintings, and you can tell from this, or maybe you might not exactly be able to tell where you're sitting at or from the where you're at home, but the way in which these different brush strokes are in each one of these sunflowers makes it feel like they are alive, that they are moving to and fro. And so today we are going to make a Van Gogh still life. So we're here. Now, the materials that you'll need today, you'll need construction paper. You'll need to be able to put a design of a still life on your paper. And on my Facebook page, I've made some designs there that you can use for reference if you'd like. You don't necessarily have to use a still life if you don't want to. You could draw a picture of your favorite pet, or you could draw a picture of the place where you live. It doesn't necessarily matter so much as the process that we're going to use in making your still life today. But anyway, when we think about still lifes, these are things that don't have really any energy to them, yet at the same time, Vincent van Gogh gave them real life. And so still lifes really don't have a life in and of themselves, like a pet or like like us as people. But it's okay if you want to use that and do that today too. So here is the drawing. I went ahead and made a still life. You can see that of some flowers there, and the vase or the vase, and kind of a simple shapes. So once you draw your still life on your construction paper, then the next step is going to be applying glue. And the glue is going to help to give that impasto feel, that texture to it. So with that being said, you'll need your glue. You'll also need some chalk, or colored chalk. You'll need some paints. Actually, I've also used fabric paint. That works really well. If you use fabric paint, you don't have to worry about doing the application with the glue. And then you can use acrylic paint or tempera paint. It's back here that I have. And what you're going to do with those paints is you're actually going to apply that over the glue. So I went ahead and started this for you. I started to apply the glue down for this still life, and I'm going to go ahead and finish up some more. Now you can see it looks pretty thick. You have to, if you're using glue, you're going to have to put a lot of glue down, so when it does dry, it's enough of a relief. So then what you can do, I've got a roller and I've got a regular brush too. The roller is kind of nice because it can do this faster. But I would basically say if I was going to pick this purple color, I put this purple in a little dish or something big enough that I could put my little roller, roll it, and once this is all dry, then I would just roll it on top of that glue. Okay, does that make sense? And that way you have this purple that kind of pops out. You could do the same thing with a brush. Just put it in there and apply that once that glue has dried, and that will make that purple pop out, okay? So let me go ahead and see. So this is what it's going to look like while you're doing it, okay? You're just going over your lines, and again, making it thick enough. Making it thick enough. Okay? See that? And if you get a little bit just kind of hanging around, kind of not exactly the way you want it, it's okay. That will dry up and you probably won't even see that because you have to really apply the glue thick. You have to go over it, you probably have to go over it a couple of times to get it as thick as you really need so you can apply the paint on top of the glue when it dries. Okay? So I'm going a little fast just because I just want to show you what that will look like. And I would probably come back over, for sure I would come back over and get that thicker. Make this as thick as possible. But I just want to show you, just go over those lines that you have. Okay. And so again, I'd probably go back in, I'd go in here, of course, and do some more of the lines, but I would just make it really thick as best as possible, okay? And once I have that, I'm gonna have to put this to the side because it's gonna take, it could take a good day for this to dry the way you need it to dry. So I'll push this over. I'll push our drawing, our main drawing over here, give you the copy. And I made a copy of this. I already started to put some color in there. But this was using the fabric paint, and I went ahead and did the outline with the fabric paint, and so you can see these ridges, these black ridges that are all around, and then I came back in with the sidewalk chalk. So let's go ahead and do a little bit more. So I'm going to take this kind of blue color, and with this kind of chalk, you can see how kind of bulky it is. Well, I could cut it down if I wanted to, or if you have a smaller chalk sizes, that's great, because the smaller it is, so I can take that off of that if I want to. There we go. There we go, blow a little bit off. Because with the smaller the stick is, or whatever it may be, the stump is, it's easier to manipulate, easier to use with your piece. So there it goes, here's a blue, and I'm going to get this other rose looking, or maybe it's a hydrangea, that's how you say it. There we go. And then I've got a little bit of green. I have a limited palette, but that's okay. I kind of like that. So there's a little bit of that green, if you can see. Let's move this stuff out of the way. And I'm just putting it in there. Blowing out a little bit. All right. Okay. Blow that out. And then I'm going to use a little bit of yellow here. Okay, yellow there, yellow there, yellow there. And then I want to take a little bit of, let's see, take the white. And so those ridges are keeping me from going in fully, but it's giving it a nice texture. Okay. You see that? And it's giving this this look like there's a lot of different brush strokes going on. And then I'm going to take, let's see, let's take another little bit of this red maybe. Let's just see. Okay. I like that. And I think this is part of leaf over, kind of the leafy part. A little bit of the green. Maybe a little bit. Let's try this one. Yeah, it looks a little better. There. Okay. Now that looks like some more green down here. And I probably need to go back into this background with the red. That's what the background is. And see, with this background, I'm not worried about blending it. You know, you can blend it and make it nice, a really nice effect with blending. And remember, you can just take a paper towel and use that. Use your fingers to blend. But with me, for this piece, I am just going to put it down sort of hard, the way I'm pressing this into the paper. And you don't have to do that, but that's the way I'm going to do it, so I can get a little bit of a look of texture in the way in which these lines are developing. So then I'm going to kind of put this like this, and voila! Isn't that kind of cool? Yeah, I think that turned out pretty neat. The one that I did over here, this is one way of doing that and how that might look. And then this one is a little more controlled. So I tried another way in which I went ahead and colored in the drawing, and then I applied the fabric paint, and that's how that looked. Which one do you like better? I kind of like this one better now because it has that neat texture to it. But anyway, these are two different ways of doing it. And of course, you want to make sure you put your name. I'm going to use the Sharpie here. I'm going to put my initials down here. There we go. And so I signed my artwork. So sign your artwork. And this one's a little bit longer because it takes a process of things to dry. But again, remember, once you've applied your glue and you let that dry, you're then going to take whatever color that you would like, paint, and you're going to paint over that dry glue. And then you're going to come back in and color in. Or you could try this like I had done, where I went ahead and had my drawing, where I drew it all out, and then I came in and colored it with the chalk, and then I applied this fabric paint. You could do the same thing with the glue. Then you could come back in with the glue and apply that and let that set. So that kind of gives it a real crisp look. Or you could have this kind of a little more, I think this is a little more impastoed look. It looks like layers. You see the brush strokes and that kind of thing in that painting or that artwork. So try different drawings, try different still lifes, and using this process and see what you find, see what you like. And again, you always want to keep these artworks, and you want to have these pieces where you can share with family and friends down the road. So have a wonderful time doing this, my fellow artists, and I will see you next Friday. Take care.